Hello and welcome again to the EPL Fanbase Show, the show that connects you to the happening in the English Premier League. And today we want to review Match Day 6. I'm joined in the show by Josiah. Josiah, just say hi to the fans.
Hi everyone.
And we have Man Gidi. Gidi, how are you?
I'm good, Steve. Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you, you guys. So today let's try to dissect further on the what happened in the Match Day 6. There were dramas and controversies. We'll be looking at Manchester United versus Chelsea match and what's happening to Harry Maguire. It has been a torrid 2 months for Manchester United captain. His name has been plastered around the press while being simultaneously mocked by the masses online. Even representing his country didn't soothe his pain as he was sent off after 30 minutes at Wembley. Back in Manchester United colours, Harry Maguire played well against Newcastle, even scoring a goal. Against Chelsea, although he wasn't tested, the 27-year-old put a foot wrong except for one dubious moment midway through the first half. So Harry Maguire was seen putting Cesar Azpilicueta in a headlock as the pair tussle for a corner. The fact that VAR didn't even review the challenge only adds more bewilderment to the situation. It's been a running gag that a game cannot go by without the Red Devil getting a penalty. So we want to look at a situation if this incident had happened at the other end. A penalty would most likely have been given. So now let's start with Josiah. Josiah, this VAR thing, and if you can recall, uh, among other things, VAR was brought to try and stabilize the game. But as it is, I know you are a die-hard Man U fan, but now it's more controversy with the VAR than before. So, what do you have to say about this incident? We've seen it last week. We spoke about the Liverpool still under VAR, denied the last-minute goal. Van Dijk didn't get like Pickford was not red carded or any card. The same was said about Arsenal playing when they played Liverpool and Arsenal when they played Man City. So, what's your take on this VAR? And we also refer to the Manu Maguire's incident.
Okay. Those are very many questions in one, which I'll try and tackle in one simple way. Let me start with Maguire. I honestly believe, as a diehard Man U fan, I honestly believe that Maguire is trying his best, honestly speaking, up to the level that he can, because he's not as top of a defender as we probably the tag he has of 80 million is tagged on him. But I would want to say that in terms of the incident, I that's hearsay that if it was on the other side, it probably would have been given. That we can't confirm, so I won't go into that. But what I would say is the fact that it was not reviewed, and including other incidents that you have seen, my issue is not VAR. VAR has actually brought justice to the game. My problem is the interpreters of the VAR. The problem is not VAR. VAR is showing us exactly technology, which is VAR, is showing us exactly what is there. The problem is the people interpreting the decisions. That's where the problem is. And it can only get better. I don't want to be so pessimistic about it. I want to be optimistic about it because I saw the first season of VAR and I saw the number of mistakes that were done. I now see the progress that we have made. Yet we are still making mistakes. That I agree. That is there. The referees are still making mistakes, but they're human. It's change, and change doesn't just come in a second. So they will go learning. And when I listen to pundits who come and analyze the games and referees and all that, they will tell you that last season there was a change in the handball rule because of so many incidences that happened. Right now, the contention is on something else. Offside, should it be on or off, or should we give some margin to strikers and all that? That is going to be interpreted as we go on. And that's the beauty about life. Life gives us a chance to go changing and to even resist change. And at the end of the day, go improving so that we can see the journey that we have come. We can't see changes right outright. And for me, on some of these decisions, like the Van Dijk decision, it is it is it is human interpretation. For me, Pickford should not have been sent off, and I'm okay with the way the decision was. Some people would argue differently, but for me, Pickford was going for the ball, and that's the same way someone in that field might have seen it, and then another referee would have seen it differently and deemed it a red card offense. So when you leave it to human interpretation, which will be left to human interpretation for some of these rules that are not outright there, then we expect not to satisfy everyone. So for me, I'm a firm believer of moving on and accepting the reality of life. And that's the reality, that improvements are going to come. Next season, you're going to see much better decisions being made. And that's the beauty that I see with this process. Because let's agree, we also get bored when we do the same things over and over again. That's why it's interesting to hear that we might have a UEFA Premier League. It's interesting because it's different, it's a change. People love changes. So I love the fact that we go gradually looking forward to something new, and we are going to see decisions being made better. I am sure about that because it can only get better. It can't get worse. Yes.
Okay, Giddy, we've had Josiah loud and clear. What do you have to say about this incident? Because there was a retired referee who was saying that probably the reason why there was no penalty because the game was in play. And if you recall, later on, I think Rashford was fouled, and then there was VAR check. So what do you have to compare the two? Because they were saying that with the Rashford case, the play was not on. So maybe that's why VAR had to check it.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with a lot of what Josiah has pointed out there. It's bound to have human error for sure, but I think where we have a gray area is who gives the decision or who gives the go ahead for for example the referee to go to the screen and check, or even for that decision to be reviewed, because there's an issue there where it seems to the fans it's selective, that review that incident, don't review that incident. So I think that is where the decisions are being made, because as Josiah says, the VAR is very clear. The video is out there to be seen, but will it be seen? For me, that is the issue. If it's not reviewed, if that go ahead is given or is not given for it to be reviewed, then there is an issue. And I have watched La Liga, Bundesliga, and other leagues, and there is that sense that these decisions are that the VAR is supplement or complementing the referee's decisions, and it's quite fast. I don't, of course, since I'm not a fan of those leagues, as I am a fan of the Premier League, I don't know the match discussions and contentions for those VAR decisions. But for me, I think the issue here is whether or not an incident should be reviewed, and also the rule for the VAR is clear that it should be a clear and obvious error that the referee has not seen, as the rules stand right now. So if it was not deemed to be a clear and obvious error, I think for us fans, we need to start accepting some decisions, because you see VAR is coming into to come into to assist the referee where they have made a mistake. Sometimes the referee does not believe they have made a mistake, and hence there's no need for review. So as much as this VAR thing or decisions are to the fans, I think even to the official, to the league, as Josiah was saying, it's a learning curve. And unless it's going, which I know it is, we just have to stay with it. Then we just have to accept. And then as an Arsenal fan, they start feeling that these decisions are not going our way. I don't remember which decision, apart from the Fulham game, which went our way. But you see, sometimes you create your own luck. If you are performing poorly, I've seen it in life. If you are doing things poorly, then don't expect it is VR that will help you to win the game. These games are won or lost on other areas, not these decisions. The decisions are important, yes, but then let's not dwell to say that because those errors will happen, teams have to improve. I don't think, even when you look at the chances that Chelsea created, honestly, I don't want to believe that one chance is the chance. Of course, if it was a goal, you could argue that it could have ended 1-0 for Chelsea, but were Chelsea that convincing to warrant a win in that game? If you ask me, in the overall performance, I think not. So for me, let's just give the officials time and at some point we might get there in terms of the decisions.
Okay,
And
looking
Steve,
at yes, yes,
Steve,
Josiah.
just to add on that, quite clearly, I want to state that I actually thought it was something to be reviewed. And if I was the one reviewing as a referee, I would have given that as a penalty against United. But I learned to move on. Though it worked to my advantage, I learned to move on. And tomorrow, it will not work to my advantage because something else is going to happen against me. So before VAR, we used to have so many issues. I can tell you, go rewind those clips. But there was no, right now we are looking for perfection, which is not there. We want a perfect game, which won't happen. So just to summarize, we are looking for perfection. It's not happening. It won't happen. Human interpretation will continue being there, and you will continue getting disgruntled if you don't move on. The scoreline is there, 0-0, done. You will stay. We could have gotten a penalty. We could have, but the point is one. Given, gone. Next case, let's move on.